So we have you today to share your experiences with us. So let's begin with something about yourself.
Yeah, so hi, I'm Himangi Chavan. I am basically from Mumbai and now I stay in Newcastle upon Tyne, England, in the UK. I did my bachelor's in IT field, that is BSc IT, and now I'm doing my master's in computer science with advanced practice right over here. So I am studying currently, I'm doing my post-graduation in Northumbria University, Newcastle. So like I'm a January intake student. So it's amazing.
So Himangi, could you share with me what inspired you to study abroad?
The most main thing about inspiration for me to study abroad was independence, and also the main thing was practicality. Here people don't mug up things while studying, even not even for studying, like everything in every prospect, everything is practical. People think practically. That's what is needed right now, so like even in studying, in being in IT field, being practical is the most important thing. Without virtually understanding things, without mugging up things in theoretical way or whatever it is, solving things up, critical solvings, practical knowledge and everything. So I needed that, which is not present right now back in India, because I have had many courses, many students and many friends who are like studying their masters in India, and from their experience I got to know that this is not what the case is in India. So when I got to know, I researched many things, and I understood that practicality is the main point to be in IT field or in a science field, like totally in science field. So that's what inspired me the most.
So you mentioned that you have many members of your family scattered across the globe, and you started your research from them. So starting with them, like how did you progress your research of going abroad?
Basically, obviously, I started with talking to these people whom I know who are there, like in US and all that. So I had a talk with them, and they cannot help me in every instance possible. They always told me that just have some research. You have Google, you have internet services and everything. So it's better for you to research on your own so that you understand, you study well what your courses are going to be, or what you think you will achieve, the main goals, what you want after studying abroad. So I started my research from Google itself. First of all, I started with YouTube because students from the same country help the students from the same country itself, right? It helps in a better way. They understand, they connect to each other. So first of all, I went on YouTube and I was searching to multiple students who study abroad or who are from India, and I just got to know about their experiences and what they think about studying abroad and all that. After that, like I literally had a diary. I kept writing everything, like these are the key points, that's important. After that, I started thinking about universities and coursework. First of all, I was thinking about the experience. What are the pros and cons, for example, of studying abroad?
In this process of your research, when did you stumble upon Grad Dreams, and how did you stumble upon Grad Dreams?
Okay, so I was doing my graduation in ML Dhanukar College, Vilepale. And once I was just reading a newspaper and I came across a ad where they had that Grad Dreams are going to have seminars in Vilepale. So I was like, since it's close, and I was thinking at the final year, I was thinking of studying abroad. So I thought I might give it a chance, and I went for the seminar, and where Sunit Sir was there, and he started explaining things in a very simpler and easy way, which was very complex actually in my mind. But then I was like, it's quite easy. I understand.
He has a wonderful knack to get down. And
he explains things very properly, and you have that confidence. Because of him, you get some confidence and positivity, while he speaks. So I got to know about the seminar.
He's a person filled with positivity. So that oozes out.
Yeah, that's what. After the seminar, I went to the stage and I met him personally and I had a talk with him. So he was like very helpful. He was helping
very obliging and very helpful. Yeah.
He was very kind. So Then I thought that I should.
And
Yeah,
I must also tell you must have not felt that you're meeting him for the first time.
Yeah, I was going to tell you about that only. Like I felt like, yeah, I know him and he's just chatting along with me. So it was like completely great. So it was amazing, to be very honest.
So that made you decide with Grad Dreams, to go ahead with Grad Dreams.
Yeah.
So again, coming back to your own research, what are the steps that involved in this process? Like, what steps did you take which involves in this process?
Like for the research part?
Yeah. So like you spoke to your members of the family, then you Googled, and then it was a very happy chance that you met Sir Sunit and attended the seminar. So you had a better clarity by then. So was it before you Googled or after you Googled?
Actually, when I had a talk with my family members, I just went through random university websites and everything, just random. And then we had the seminar. So I had a talk with him. And at that moment, I was like sure, like I was like 70% sure that I want to go and I want to study abroad. I want that experience in my life, you know. And after that, I started with research with respect to coursework, modules, syllabus, and how like up to date the syllabus and of the university is exactly for my field, for the IT field. And so I started thinking. Firstly, I started thinking about the countries, which countries like mostly oriented to IT field, IT like science field, science background, IT background, and I bifurcated into like 2 or 3 countries. After that, I started with researching along with the universities. But till then, since I was like already enrolled in Grad Dreams, I went to Grad Dreams and I met Monali, and she discussed with me like everything, like the budget from the universities, the colleges, the courses, budgets, and everything properly. I had my mom with me, so my mom could understand each and everything, each and every step. She memorized, she remembered everything, and it was so great. It was so easily understandable when she was telling us, she was discussing with us, along with us. We wrote down many things, multiple things. So in short, it was a 50-50 contribution from my side and from Grad. So it collaborated so well that now I'm studying my master's over here now in Newcastle. Dakshita Divekar, she was my advisor, and she helped me in multiple terms. Like if I don't have this option, she would give me the second option. If I don't have that option, she would give me the third, fourth, fifth. So it went on and went on. So it was like a very hectic, but it was a very beautiful journey, like really good.
So I like Dakshita, or the highlight what I noticed about Dakshita, she speaks very fast and she speaks beautifully. And now I can think that you would have really gelled with her.
Yeah, because I speak fast. I understand.
Yeah. You had 2 advisors at Grad Dreams, Monali as well as So first you.
Monali was the one who did my counseling for the first time.
Your advisor was Dakshita.
Yeah.
And you're very happy she led you through properly.
It was really good. Yeah, it was really good. It made everything look easier and simpler. And like the bond, I won't say like it wasn't professional. I'm not saying in a bad way, but I'm saying as if we were like more friends in terms of the
quite informal, formal.
Yeah, you can say that. Yeah, completely.
Did you ever have a doubt, like for IT, like for computer programming, you're choosing UK?
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever have a doubt? Like people usually prefer US when it comes to computer programming.
Mm-hmm. Actually, not as a doubt, because I always believed, even from Grad Dreams, I got to learn this thing that they always told me this one simple thing. You don't have to worry about what rank the university is. You don't have to worry about what country it is, but you have to depend completely on the syllabus, the coursework, and the modules that they have. That's the most important thing, how they teach, what are the reviews. That's the most important thing. So accordingly, I just researched too many things. I also applied for USA. I got multiple offers from there. I also applied for UK. I got multiple offers from there. I got rejected hardly in 1 or 2 of the applications because of the eligibility. But then otherwise, I was like totally fine. But since I researched more and more, I got to know that every Indian usually like goes and runs for USA, and I didn't want that. I wanted some good exposure when I come abroad, something different. I didn't want the same things, same people and everything. I wanted something different to happen for me. So
has it proven correct? Like has it proven correct that the country does not matter or the university does not matter? Himangi, can you hear me?
I'm sorry, your voice cutting and you are completely.
I said, has it proven correct that the country does not matter?
Yeah, I think so. For my case, it's proven correct because the way I'm learning here right now, the coursework that I have, the syllabus that I have right now, whatever I have studied, I've already completed my first sem. So I clear also my first sem. So accordingly, whatever I'm studying, and I've enhanced my skills in terms of like many modules in terms of IT I'm talking about. It's amazing. Like I know how much I've grown for how I was after my graduation and now what I am. So it's like really good.
Okay, now tell me, how was the visa support? Like, can you share your experience in regards to visa support?
Okay, visa in the sense for UK, it is not difficult to get visa for UK. Mm-hmm. For UK, it's just that you have to be genuine at your documents, whatever you are going to submit. You have to prove the statements and your bank statements, the saving. You have to have the savings. And the main thing is like it's just important that you submit correct documents. Otherwise, obviously, they will reject and you might have some problems again for your future study abroad process. But for the visa support, it was quite good. It was easy. It's just that you have to go to the center visa office and you have to submit your documents.
So in regards with your documents, you were guided correctly by Grad Dreams. There were proper guidance. Everything was in time and hassle free.
Yeah, completely. They provided me with a list of documents that I would be requiring to submit at the visa office. So I had it checked also twice. I went to Grad Dreams office in Thane and I had it checked like twice. So everything was completely okay for me. It was easy. It was hassle-free. Obviously, it was simpler. I just went over to the office. I submitted my documents. I came out, and after like couple of weeks, I got to know that I got visa.
So what was your reaction when you came to know that you have?
Happy. I was so happy. And the thing about UK
did you jump with
the office itself?
Did you dance with your mother in arms?
Yeah, actually, the thing about UK visa is like you don't get the results on the very same day, or you don't get to know what your result is if you have got the visa or not. So after a month or so, depending on what visa type you have chosen. So since I chose for priority visa and because of some problems happened, I got like after 1 month, I got the visa. Like I got the passport, so it's in an envelope. And the passport is inside the envelope, and we are not sure if we got it or not. I just kept my fingers crossed. I opened the envelope and I opened the passport, and then I saw my visa, my photo, and I was so happy. I started shouting in the office itself, and like there were 2 or 3 of the employees over there. They came and they were like, "You can't shout over here. You have to go out." Like, yeah, I just got the visa. I'm so sorry. I'm so happy. And then I went out.
Sure, you're not the first one who's doing that. They were waiting for you to scream and then come and tell you the courtesy follow. Question to you is, do you suggest students should have some time between the day they land and they enter actually the university?
Yeah, surely they should always attend the welcome week, because that's specially organized by the university for the international students. So some things are there, like you should know about your modules, what they guide you completely, like how the courses will be. For example, in my case, since I have advanced practice, I have internship period. So I don't know exactly now what my internship period is going to be or how it is going to be, since I was not able to attend my welcome week. But for students, obviously I'll guide that they should attend the welcome week, because it's really amazing. You get to know many things. Also they give
and this welcome week is when? I mean, much before your course starts?
It's like one week before the course starts. So for this year,
this is all about university, but what I'm saying is that even before you start the welcome week, do you need an extra time to settle in the city? Do students need extra time to settle in the city? And how much time they should take in hand to settle in the city they're traveling?
Yeah, I think maximum of 10 days would be enough for them to come before the welcome.
10 days is actually too long. Do you think they need
it's maximum. It depends on person to person. It's minimum like 1 week, because you have to arrange your room, you have to sign in, you have to enroll everywhere, you have to run here and there for the rent and everything, you have to meet the landlord, you have to make the contracts. So 1 week is like minimum 1 week, and maximum like 10 days or so is completely enough. So that's the case.
And would you like to share your experience at your university? I mean, I actually want to know the first step inside the gates.
Yeah, I just I was traveling and I just entered, and the first thing I saw was this huge library. It was like completely transparent. It was only glass. It was not Columbia University, and yeah, it's only of glass.
Wow.
It's like not closed in a building. It's completely of glass, and it's a huge library. It's of 3 floors, and it was so amazing to have the view of that. And when I entered from the library, I exited from the library, and then I saw this huge campus, multiple buildings, students' union, the coffee shops. They also have a bar inside the university. It's like students go and hang out over there normally. And there were multiple buildings of, the tutors and everything. So, and big classrooms. Obviously, I went and I saw classrooms over there. And they were amazing. It's like very much comfortable for students over there. The service is like amazing, like really amazing.
But I am, my mouth is watering at the, thought of the library, 3-storied library. And you set a foot and first thing you see library. I mean, that is like the biggest appetizer for a learner. And then you're saying there is a bar too. And like read a book and get to drink what you want to drink.
Yeah, but the experience while learning also in the classrooms and the audis and everything, it's like there are big auditoriums, like there are multiple screens. And the main thing about Northumbria University was that the services here are amazing. Like obviously every university has that. Services, student help support, all the facilities, infrastructure is literally like amazing. Like when you go, you enter, you have your mouth open, like, oh really, it's so good. You like keep on complimenting at things, it's amazing. It's really amazing.
No, my mouth watered only at that library, 3-storied library. I mean, I would have just locked myself in the library. I wouldn't have gone beyond the library.
We are usually over in the library.
The bar at times.
Also, they have like many vending machines over there in the library. So if students stay over, even they have the facility for students to stay over in nights, when they want to study and they can sleep, they can have shower. So the bathrooms and all are huge. So it's like completely the facility for the students. The services are really amazing. Like they actually think about students' preferences, like that.
Wow, really amazing. I mean, yeah, everything rolled out for students, right?
Yeah, completely.
It just you should have an appetite for learning, and there is no dearth of facility to facilitate that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
So, in a line, what is your experience at the university? In one line.
I cannot explain it in one line, but I'll try to. I think in this university, Northumbria University, the experience is lovely. It's amazing. You are mesmerized by everything. You learn many new things. You enhance your skills. It's like everything in a small, world. It's kind of a small world where you get everything. Yeah, it's a mini world for you. Yeah, it's amazing.
Do you think there is a difference in student life in UK per se or the university you attend than India?
Yeah, completely different. Like I mentioned before, it's people over there here, like everyone, the president of the university, everyone, the leaders, the module leaders, the tutors, everyone think about the students. Like the preference is only for students. They don't think about themselves. They think about how the students will like. For example, if international students come there, they think about, we should give some welcome week to them. They should understand what the processes are, because people here, like the students over here, were already studying over here, or they were here in Newcastle. They were staying here in Newcastle, so it's easy for them to understand the process of assignments and everything. But for international students, we are like mugging up things, and we give our exams and everything. Everything is theoretical. So in that terms also, studies in terms of studies, in terms of facilities, in terms of services, it's like much better than India. Like I won't say India is not good. India also has many courses that are like very good. But for example, in your science
field, you feel that the prime focus is student?
Yeah, completely.
It's all about comfort of students, and it's all about how much the learning can be facilitated. I mean, it's all about facilitating easy and effortless learning.
Yeah, completely. They put students in front of them before anything else. Their studies, their learning, everything they put in front of them. The first priority, we can say. It's amazing.
So now when you say it is different from what is in India, so did you face any challenges?
Yeah, there were challenges in terms of coping up with things, because their accent and everything is totally different, right? So many people have the problem of the accents. So it's like very difficult for us to understand what they speak usually. But 1 or 2 days maximum, and then you get used to it, like what they speak, what they mean to say. And with respect to like every module and everything, they have like slides and presentations and everything. So in that they simplify it, like the writing on the slides and the presentation is like simplified completely. It's easy to understand to anybody. So it's quite good. That was the main challenge. The accent was the main challenge, first of all, when I entered in the university. And secondly, it's difficult to make friends, because it is really very difficult to make friends if you don't talk much. If you talk, you have good communication skills, then you can make friends. You involve into many multiple things. You enroll into multiple student unions, events, and everything. So that's the main point.
Now, do you know anything, since you did not attend the welcome week? So I'm not sure whether you know what are the internships opportunities at your university. Do you have any idea? Try to collect them.
I have a slight idea, because one of the tutor who is in the research field, she's also responsible for internship for students, and she conducted one Zoom session with students who are interested. She sent link to everyone. So we attended that, and internship, my internship is like 12 months internship, and it's like divided into 3 parts. It's like you have to work under a PhD student. It's mostly non-paid internships. So the first part is under a PhD student. They have to research in their field, in IT field obviously. Secondly, there are companies who are here in Newcastle. You can work directly in the companies as an intern. And thirdly, it's a mashup of PhD students and internship, like the companies. The third part is university and the research students completely. So the university sponsors and the company also sponsors for the PhD students. So these are the three parts for internships, and it's a 12 months internship, and mostly 95% of students get their internship. So the number is quite good. So I'm planning to get one next year.
You're happy. I mean, it's very enticing, right? The internship program is very enticing. Very nice.
Yeah, and the main thing is that it will boost our resume. That's the main thing. Resume is boost. We get everything practical. We are in a practical. Your video is paused.
Was it? Is it paused at a good pose?
I'm so sorry, Priya. You are stuck completely.
I asked you if it is paused at a good pose.
I was speaking something and you paused it.
Oh, I don't like that face of mine. I will ask the editing department to edit that, especially. Okay. So what you were saying about the internship? Yeah, you were saying about the internship.
Yeah, so it's like 95% is a good chance for students to get internships. Obviously, they have to, they'll help you to make your resume and everything, your CV properly, whatever you write. University guides you with that. And with respect to internships, obviously you have to try your best. You have to give your best to get the internship. University tries like 50%. 50% should be given to
that itself is a very big support. I mean, I like that university is taking the responsibility. I mean, it's not just the teaching. Does not end at teaching. They're also making sure that you get a proper internship and a job. That's really
Actually, when we were attending the Zoom sessions with the tutor leader, she told us that she's trying for all the students to get the internship, since it's only 95% student gets the internship. She's trying her best to give the internship opportunity, so that they'll have an enhanced skill set and they'll have a good resume, so that it will boost their experience field, and also boost the thing to get a job, like that particular quality you need to get a job.
But I feel about your university, it's my take, okay? It's like home away from home.
Yeah.
It's like a home. I mean, they're treating you like babies. I mean, they're
totally
taking good care of you.
Since I'm doing my masters here, I never felt that I'm doing my masters, because they started with the basics, like the complete basic graduation. So that's a very good point, to study. It's like
so they never assume that you know so much and then let's start from there. So they're giving you a chance, like you can still, even if you have not studied very well back at your, in your graduation or back at your hometown, you can still get a chance here and study.
Yeah.
Okay. What suggestion would you offer to the students who are looking to study abroad?
The most important thing is like be well prepared. That's the main thing. There may be time that
in the sense what?
In the sense like you will face many problems for coming here. Like while coming over here, also you'll face the problem. After you have reached here, also you'll face many problems. But just to keep positivity in mind, that everything will be fine, and you should give your 100% in terms of education, in terms of everything. Like, for example, if you're homesick, then you have to fight against it, because you are here for your family. You have to support your family. You have to be there for yourself too. So it's not only about studies. You have to indulge into many different, occasions, events, and everything to keep yourself busy, so that you're not homesick. that was just an example, but there are many challenges that you will be facing after coming over here, while coming over here in the process too. But at the end, everything will be all right. Like, that's what I tell to everyone.
Students should never lose focus, and it's not an easy ride. They should realize that it has been a bumpy ride for everyone, and it will be a bumpy ride. So what I wanted to ask is that, do you think a student can go through this process on own? I mean, without the help of the advisor?
Yeah, surely a student can go through the process on their own, but they'll require a lot of time, because research is everything. Like, all the means is through research. Google does show you many options and help you a lot, but there are many small options that you require someone to advise you for. If you have someone very close ones for you in your family to guide you, then it's all right. Like, they can help you with all the process and everything. But I think there is need for some kind of advice. Maybe it would be from a education consultancy, or from your family member who's very close to you and who can help you, like, without being selfish. Just every option available. So that's kind of very important. Getting advices are very important, because I know through my process I had so many options for me which I was not aware of, which I researched on the internet, but I couldn't find it. But I got it from my advisor, so it was very, very, very helpful. It was quite easy.
How much time and how much effort can be saved because of an advisor? Can you just rate it on a scale of 0 to 10?
Okay, so advisor for me, it worked for like 8. I can say, because it was everything was on my plate. I just have to be served. Like, I just have to give the documents and whatever replies and whatever it is. I just have to review my the offer letter and everything properly, my admission letters and everything, my application letters. I just had to review it. For visa purpose, I just have to check my documents properly. They provided me with the list. I just had to checklist kind of a thing, and I just had to pick, like, I have this document, like that. So it was quite easy. And if I had any question, I would just give a call to the advisor anytime, and she would just reply to me that, yeah, you have this option, you can do that. So it's good to have someone who has so much of experience.